You have a good eye. Looks like you're working hard. I don't think it's a good idea to work too hard, though.
You're one to talk.
You don't care enough about slacking off. It's not a bad thing. When you know your own strength and rest when you need it, you'll be a better soldier. Work on that. There's a lot of people who will be sad if you fall. I'm one of them.
You have potential. However, you should not overdo it.
Thanks. Yeah, I'll be careful.
I'm sorry I made you all worry.
Are you all right?
I'm fine, and we have to hurry back to the Kunad Gate.
We're going back there again? Do you know what we can do about it, Mother?
Yes. We must get rid of the entanglements in the Kunad Gate, or the world will eventually be destroyed.
Entanglements? What are they?
We should head to the Kunad Gate before I explain it further.
Okay. Then we'll go to the Kunad Highway. Everyone get ready. Mom, you can have a seat here.
Thank you. You got so big.
Huh? That was sudden.
You joined the OSF. How's Kaito? Are you getting along with your older brother?
He's good. We don't really get along anymore.
Oh. Can you tell me what's happening in your time, in the present?
And that's basically it. The only other thing is the existence of the Kunad Gate.
Thank you. Along with Babe's data, I think I understand a lot now. Are we almost ready to leave?
Oh, yeah. We are. Mom?
You're just like your father.
Huh? No. Kaito is the one who looks like Dad. Actually, people tell me I'm not much like him.
I'm not talking about your face. It's how you act. Yuito, about your father... I'm sorry I didn't tell you what he was doing. He did awful things, but it was him that saved me from Togetsu. He was kind. Kaito said he would change this country too. He's wanted to be a politician ever since he was little. But I guess he could only take your father's path as well.
Kaito did, but
It's all right. You and Kaito are your father's and my children. I know you'll make up someday.
Right.
Things are moving fast, but I'm hoping you can tell us how to deal with the Kunad Gate.
Ultimately, Yuito and Kasane have to enter the Kunad Gate and unravel the entanglements. What I'm telling you here is just a concept. The traces interfering with time should look like tangled red threads. According to Togetsu's theory, whenever you jump through time, a dimensional hole like the Kunad Gate is created, but it should then disappear. The reason this hasn't disappeared is because Yuito and Kasane's powers resonated. The Kunad Gate is different from the theorized gates in that it's persisting in a distorted state. Using a distorted gate for a time jump creates entanglements. If you can unravel those entanglements, you can close the Kunad Gate.
distorted. I don't really get it yet. But when you say enter the Kunad Gate, do you mean go into that hole in the sky?
That strange space. Is it inside the Kunad Gate? You saw it too, when the gate first opened.
Oh, that place with all the weird images?
That's right. That strange space that Kasane mentioned exists inside the Kunad Gate. It is a concept of space that only exists for those with the Red String's power. Togetsu called it the Chronos Terminal.
Perhaps it's a kind of station, or junction point, for traveling through time.
So only Yuito and Kasane can perceive it. I guess that explains why we didn't notice it when we jumped to the future.
When there is time contact between 2020, when the gate was made, and another time, entanglements are created.
Time contact? Is that any different from time travel?
It's a broader definition of time travel. Even if you don't arrive at that time, even if you just attempt. Basically, if someone with the Red String's power even touches that time, there is a trace. That is time contact. The only way to actually see which times have entanglements is for the two of you to go and check for yourselves.
So I guess the only thing we can do is leave it to Yuito and Kasane.
Even if we find the entanglements, we won't know how to unravel them until we see them.
The Chronos Terminal is conceptualized by your powers, so you'll know how to unravel them. Not with reason, but with intuition. Also, I'm weak, but I can use the red strings, so I'll support you from here.
Okay, so we just need to use the red strings again and enter the Chronos Terminal.
I'm going with you this time.
You don't know what kind of dangers will be there. Make sure you're ready before you go.
If it gets dangerous, you both come right back.
Don't worry, we will. Just take care of my mother. Keep her safe.
It's all right. Don't worry. We will protect Wakana.
All right, we don't have much time. Let me know when you're ready.
Mom, I saw you again after all these years, but we haven't really talked. I get that the situation won't allow it, but...
Good to go, Kasane?
I'm ready.
Focus your consciousness together. Picture the site of the Chronos Terminal.
To the Chronos Terminal.
We will unravel those entanglements. It looks like we actually made it. Are each of those images connected to different times?
We can't just stand around. We have to search for the entanglements.
I guess it's nothing new when it's your third time. So, how do we find them? I don't feel anything yet.
It must be Mother.
Is she guiding us? Let's go! Others?
How are they inside the Chronos Terminal?
Calm down. That place is built from your consciousness. It's an imaginary world. It is a very unstable place. Your fear and anxiety, all of your emotions affected. The memories of your past made others appear.
So basically, you're saying that these others were created by our mental immaturity.
That makes us sound pretty lame. But if we made them, we can take them down, too.
I know the two of you can handle it, but be careful.
So if our consciousness is made, is this other an illusion? It sure looks real.
As long as your brain thinks so, it's the same as if it's less. We have to fight it.
Keep it up. Here we go! Here we go! Next! Hey! I need your help!
Damn! I'm getting roasted!
Keep it up!
Use my strength! Hey, do you feel something?
Yeah, it's like my head is buzzing. It's weird.
This is the old OSF hospital on that day in 2009. It's an entanglement.
Yeah. I don't understand it, but I can feel it. This is definitely it. If we want to successfully unravel this, then I'm betting that we have to use the red strings, our power.
Yes, I feel it too. We should be able to make this work.
Another one!
Let's hold it off while we unravel the entanglement.
Alright, I know we can do it. Right, Yuito?
I need your help!
Yeah, right. Let's go!
Here we go! Good! Come on! Thanks, Arashi!
Yuito, finish it!
Yeah! Us together. This should work. Us together.
This will make the Kunad Gate disappear.
Hey, Kasane. That day, I never got the chance to thank you properly. So, thank you for saving me.
What? That came out of nowhere.
You were the one that saved me 11 years ago at the hospital, right? I remember it perfectly now. I used to be a dud, and then all of a sudden I had powers. My power awakening? I think it was because you shared yours with me.
What? Powers aren't something you can just share.
Yeah, I know what I'm saying sounds silly, but if it were possible, it was thanks to meeting you that day that I'm still alive, and have reached my goal of getting into the OSF. That's what I think, so... thanks for saving me.
You're welcome. Is that what I'm supposed to say?
You look totally confused, but that's okay. I think it's unraveled now. Everyone is probably worried about us.
Mother's power. I can still feel it.
So, there's more than one entanglement?
If so, it's simple. We just have to unravel all of them.
Right. Okay, let's go.
We did unravel that entanglement, right?
I think so. But something still feels off.
So you feel it too. Something's bothering me. There's another one.
Is that 50 years in the future? That should be gone. This is the other that attacked Yuito.
Do what you want.
Keep it up. Some help, Luca! Thanks, Kyoka!
That attack worked. That must be a weak spot.
Let me use your power!
More power.
Unravel it! With us, together. I think that's all of them.
Have you ever thought of what you'd do if you could change history?
You mean by traveling to the past? That would just create new entanglements, though, wouldn't it?
I mean, after the Kunad Gate is gone. If you could use the red strings freely.
Well, yeah. I mean, sure, I've thought about it. If I had done this, or hadn't done that, something would have changed. All those regrets are still there. When Nagi asked, what should I have done differently, I just couldn't come up with an answer.
So, do you want to use the red strings to change the past?
No, I don't. Because even if you change the past, you won't know how it will affect the future. Nagi might not have gotten caught up in all of this if he wasn't my friend. If he hadn't joined the OSF, if he didn't admire them, if I mess with the past that much and just overwrite his life, is that really saving him? And it's not just Nagi. If you change the past, it would affect the lives of everyone in the world.
It's not something that one person can burden themselves with.
I don't think it's right to only care about what you wish. There's a lot that I still can't accept, but it's not something that I can just ignore as if it didn't happen.
I know it was a silly question. I'm actually surprised. Or maybe I'm just relieved. Because now I know I'm not the only one having these thoughts.
Oh.
Before, I would have answered differently. But now that I've met everyone, the way I see the world has changed.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's the same for me. You know, we actually have a lot in common.
I think it's a little early to say that.
This is Mom's... There's still an entanglement?
But all the time periods we travel to. No. Now's not the time to think about it. Can you keep going?
I'll be okay. I'm probably just a little tired from using my brain too much.
We should hurry.
You only traveled to those 2 times, right?
Yes, I think those are the only ones.
Isn't that...
The Sumeragi crest. That's it. This is the image I saw at the start.
Right. Yakumo Sumeragi's crest. It seems like a time entanglement appeared then. What? How?
Former Major General Karin.
So they're going to keep coming.
We need to unravel the entanglement. Here we go!
Take this!
Come on!
Don't get cocky.
Thanks, Arashi! Here we go! I need your help! Come on! Here we go! Good.
I'm not done yet.
I need your help!
Time to fight back!
That was close.
Now I can take it easy.
Come on!
Can't give up!
I should charge you.
That attack worked! There must be a weak spot.
Time to fight back!
Here we go! Come on! Here we go!
So, you need help?
Am I better?
It should work. This should work. Okay, that should...
Yuito? This is bad. I don't think I can take much more either.
So... did we do it? That should be all of them, right?
Probably, but something doesn't feel right. Karen and Yakumo Sumeragi. What happened to them?
Damn it! I'm blacking...
Yuito! Kasane!
Mom?
Mother...
Where am I?
Oh good, you're awake. It seems like we made it back.
What's going on? The Kunad Gate... why hasn't it disappeared?
Well...
Good job, you two. It's all okay now.
What? But...
Mother, we unraveled the entanglements. So why?
Leave the rest to me.
What?
Thank you for growing up so strong. You've made a lot of wonderful friends. Those connections are much more valuable than any red string. Treasure them for the rest of your life.
Mother?
Mom. You can't go back to the past.
If you go back, Toketsu will...
It has to be done. Forgive me. The longer I remain here, the more painful it will be.
No, hold on! There's still so much that I need to say!
Mother! Yuito. Kasane. Live on. Knowing you're happy is all that I could ask for.
So today is the day. I may give you my brain, but you can't have my memories of the future. Kaito. Yuito. Kasane.
The body has been confirmed as the target, Wakana. Current theory for cause of death is cerebral overload due to a malfunction in the personality rehabilitation device. We believe an irreversible memory wipe was conducted. There is significant damage to the memory regions in her brain. Following protocol and retrieving her brain.
I see. There was an entanglement from when Mom time traveled.
Mother. She explained it to us earlier when the two of you were gone. The Kunad Gate wouldn't disappear as long as she was still present in this time.
We have a message she left for the two of you. Let me send it to you now.
Apparently, the entanglement will unravel when Wakana returns to the past and dies like she did in history.
Wakana knew from the start that she was causing an entanglement. I'm sorry. I know this hits the two of you harder than anyone else, and I'm here crying.
She held back her feelings so she could part with you with no regrets. She's a great person.
Hey, don't be so down. I'm not saying that because I'm worried about you. I said that because it affects platoon morale.
I know she would have wanted to talk to the both of you some more, but she thought spending more time with you would only make things more painful.
Wakana wasn't from this time period, so her situation was different than yours. The uneasy feeling I had when we unraveled the entanglements 11 years ago was because Mother's entanglement still remained.
That's strange. Wakana has returned, so how come it didn't disappear? Have all the entanglements truly been unraveled?
All the entanglements we felt we unraveled. The ones 11 years ago, 50 years in the future, and the one during Yakumo Sumeragi's time period.
What? What does Yakumo Sumeragi's time period have to do with anything?
I think one formed when we witnessed Yakumo's assassination.
What are you talking about? Yakumo was severely injured in an accident, but he wasn't assassinated.
We don't really understand it either, but we saw Yakumo Sumeragi being killed by Karen.
What did you say?
We were busy dealing with the entanglement, but yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that that was former Major General Karen.
He copied Kasane's power. Yuito, if he also copied your power.
But he didn't copy my... He could have time traveled by resonating Kasane's power with mine.
So it hasn't disappeared because of the entanglement Karin created when he traveled back to Yakumo's time period?
But the two of you couldn't find an entanglement. How do you expect to unravel something you can't find?
Karin can unravel his own entanglement.
Yes, exactly. The only thing we can do is take Karin to the Chronos terminal and have him unravel the entanglement himself.
Wataru, can you check Karin's location?
I figured you'd ask, so I've been working on it. I've got nothing. I can't find him at all. It's like he's disappeared.
Supposing that he's traveled to Yakumo's time period, that would mean he's in the past. That's where you're going to find him.
Are you too sure the people you saw were really Karin and Yakumo?
We're sure. We could see their faces clearly. Actually, we only saw Karin's face.
But that was Yakumo. I mean, he had the same mask on as all the depictions of him.
Ah, yes, that's it, the mask. That explains everything.
Kagero, explain.
Whoa, Tsugumi, calm down. So, you know how Yakumo started wearing the mask because of the injuries he sustained? Rumor was, sometime after the accident, he suddenly stopped appearing in front of people and his whole personality just changed.
Whole personality changed. You're not suggesting...
The real Yakumo was assassinated by Karin from the future, and Karin took his place by putting on the mask?
It doesn't matter. Either way, we still need to travel back to 2,000 years ago to check.
Actually, no. We might not have to travel at all. You all saw my brother's video, right? Don't you remember what he said?
Yakumo Sumeragi is alive!
What are you...
He is asleep, deep beneath Suo. Even now, he is waiting for his revenge!
Right. Cold sleep. Just like Kagero.
If Yakumo is in cold sleep under Suo, then we can find out the truth by meeting him directly. If former Major General Karin replaced him, then he'll be the one down there in cold sleep. I'm not entirely certain as to why he did what he did. But we can talk to him and have him help us unravel the entanglement.
Do we know where he's sleeping, though? I mean, Arahabaki is the only area I can think of that's under Suo.
I mean, Sumeragi Tomb is the first place I thought of where Yakumo would be. Do you think he would really be in such a heavily trafficked place, though?
How about it, Yuito? It's your family's tomb.
Yeah, that makes sense. But I've never even been inside the building before. The head of the family is responsible for watching over Sumeragi Tomb. I might be able to find something out if I talk to my brother.
The Chief. Do you think he'll listen to us?
Actually, I've been trying to reach my brother's terminal, but I'm not getting through. There's a chance he might have blocked me. Wataru, can you ask Major General Fubuki to talk to my brother? I doubt he'd refuse a call from a Major General.
Okay, leave it to me. I just don't know how soon I'll get a response.
Wanna stop by our hideout then? I'm sure Yuito and Kasane could use the rest.
Good idea. It would be smart to rest while we can.
Thanks, Gemma. All right, let's head back.
Welcome back. I messaged Major General Fubuki. He said it might take some time to get in touch with the Chief.
Thanks, Wataru.
I also asked about Major General Karin, but apparently Major General Fubuki doesn't know anything either.
I see. Then I guess he really is in the past.
We don't have any other leads at the moment, so let's hope he's in Sumeragi Tomb.
I guess I should talk to Shiden.
Arashi hasn't mentioned the forced break program to me once since then. I wonder why she wanted to make it in the first place. She said it was to help people like me rest. She also said I was just like someone... I know! I'll call that person up! She isn't going to like this, but if it helps get the issue out... Hey, Arashi. Remember how you told me that I was like Major General Fubuki?
Oh, that? I can't believe you remember that. Yeah, you two are alike. Especially how earnest and naive you are.
You told me to rest and relax because being too earnest wasn't good. But I think those words and the forced break program were meant for him.
That's an interesting idea. What makes you think that?
There's a lot of reasons, but I guess seeing him work until he collapsed sealed the deal. Whenever I see him, I do think he really needs someone to force him to rest. If that's the case, I think you should be telling all of this to him instead of me.
Even if you're right, that sounds like a pain.
I thought you'd say that. I'm sorry for doing this behind your back. But I invited Major General Fubuki here. He should arrive any minute now.
What?
I received a message from Yuito. He said you wanted to talk to me, Arashi?
Fubuki? I had no idea you were so nosy, Yuito.
You're the one who started this by trying to force me to rest, so consider this payback.
I can't believe you.
Arashi? Yuito? What's going on?
Sorry, Fubuki, but I don't really have anything to talk to you about.
Arashi, come on.
I mean, there's a lot of things I could say. However, I know it's wrong to push my own values on you. I won't criticize or deny the way you live just because we think differently. I suppose I was conceited to think that I was always right.
I'm surprised to hear you say that.
Really? It's the conclusion I drew from my latest experiment.
Experiment?
Yeah, it was pretty enjoyable. It's all thanks to the wonderful test subject I had. In other words, you just have to follow your gut.
Arashi.
Arashi.
Just don't push yourself too hard. I can't support you if you collapse. Like, physically.
I know. Thank you.
Sorry, maybe I did stick my nose where it didn't belong.
That's alright. That was surprisingly cathartic. I've been avoiding that conversation because I thought it was too much of a pain. Seems like I had a lot I kept bottled up inside. I feel a bit better now.
Really? That's good.
So here's a token of my appreciation. Take it.
Appreciation? My vision!
It's the light version of the break program. It starts spinning your vision so you'll...
I'm getting dizzy.
Yes, that was awesome! How's that for relaxing, Yuito?
You're actually pissed, aren't you?
It's tough being the good one.
You're a good one?
Come on, do I look like a good girl? I'm talking about you. Public impression will often hold you back in life. I just thought it must be hard for you.
You're always so nice. Thanks.
You are becoming more reliable every day. Keep this up and you could do my half of the work too.
I don't know about your half, but I'm happy you recognize what I can do.
Yuito, I need to talk to you.
Now what? Did you come to insult me again?
No! I don't want anyone else to hear. We're going to Musubi's, come on.
Hey, wait, I didn't agree. Oh, man. I can't take this guy. So, what do you want?
We had an argument last time.
Yeah, I remember. You don't want to pick up where we left off, do you? I've had enough of that.
No, I don't. I was too emotional before, so I'm sorry.
Wait, what did you just say?
I said I'm sorry. What's strange about that? I know when I've gone too far.
Yeah. I said things I didn't mean to. But I didn't expect you to just apologize.
I called you a pampered little boy. But when I thought of your circumstances, I realized I was wrong. You lost both your parents, then almost lost your memory. You've had plenty of your own hardships.
Well, when you say it like that... Did I really have it that hard?
Will you accept my apology?
Yeah, I accept.
Just to be clear, I'm only apologizing for what I was wrong about. It's true that you're a dimwit, so I won't apologize for that.
Can't he be a little nicer? I guess that's just his personality.
Speaking of hardships, you said you were a dud. Do you actually know what that means?
Huh? It means someone born without powers.
Do you really understand that? You say it like it doesn't affect you. They have it harder than even civilians. They're powerless.
Well, it's kind of unclear. Wait, are you worried about me?
No. I can't understand how you could say that so lightly. No matter what the official stance is, people without powers are discriminated against. It doesn't matter if you're a Sumeragi or not. No matter how much they flatter you to your face, they're laughing at you in their heads. I don't think I could handle that.
I know that people won't look at me the same, but it won't change who I am. There are people who see me for me, not as a psionic or as a Sumeragi.
I can't tell if you're tough or just stupid. You've had so many bad experiences, but you look so self-assured. When I see you, it makes me think I can't whine about my little problems.
I'll take that as a compliment. I'm surprised you want to whine sometimes.
It's not that I want to whine. There are things I'm not pleased about. I've worked so hard, but my real ability still isn't appreciated in the OSF. It's irritating.
Oh yeah, I think I know what it feels like to not be appreciated too. People don't see how hard I work because I'm a Sumeragi. Just like you.
Huh. Way to be insulting without trying. I'll give you some advice. If you feel like you're not being appreciated, then get so strong that people have to appreciate you. That's the only way. It's what I worked so long for, and what I'll keep working for.
Wow. You can be unexpectedly passionate.
Unexpectedly? Why is it unexpected?
I just always thought you were the cool guy. I didn't think we'd have anything in common.
Stop it. We don't have anything in common. I'm not a pampered boy like you.
Yeah, we're not alike at all. I mean, I'm not rude like you.
What?
If you had been nicer about your advice before... Oh, that's right. I haven't thanked you yet. I had trouble listening, but once I put the insults aside, I realized it was pretty good advice. Thanks.
Of course it was. I'm always studying battles to get better than I am now.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. Will you give me more advice sometime?
Sure. But I won't be so nice next time, so don't cry about it.
I'll be ready. I'm counting on you.
Stop furrowing your brow the moment you look at someone.
I could say the same to you.
That makes two of us then. Makes me angry that we're alike. But I guess you could say I'm rubbing off on you. You should keep climbing to get on my level.
My first impression of you was the worst. But now, I'm willing to say you're the second to worst. Are you trying to be nice? I guess I'm grateful that I'm better now.
Hey, I'm grateful.
Really? I'm so happy.
This is nice.
I think I need to talk to Kyoka.
Yuito, I have a favor to ask. Will you climb Hiyano Mountain with me?
Sure, but why? Was there an other warning there or something?
No, I just want to climb the mountain. The truth is, I'm still worried about my power. Lifting weights is not enough to shake my insecurity. I want to put myself in an extreme situation to clear my thoughts.
And you thought of Hiyano Mountain. But you had a pretty tough time climbing it before.
It was certainly difficult climbing the mountain with this body. But that's why I want to do it. I want to climb it with my own strength, and see just how strong I've become. So I don't want you to help unless it's an emergency, or another appears.
You want to test your limits? Okay, but don't do anything crazy.
Thank you very much.
maybe we should take a break.
I can still go on. I'm sorry for causing you some problems of late.
Don't worry about it. It's good to talk to someone.
I understand in theory that I shouldn't let losing my power bother me. But being a dud is something that has occupied my mind for a very long time. A dud's quality of life is hardly considered in current New Himuka society. It's the same as if they don't exist. If I lose my power, that's what will happen to me. And that scares me.
I guess not being able to see the net or visions is the same as being ignored by the world. But since they're outside of society, doesn't that mean they can change it from the outside?
That's just idealism. Society does not work that way.
That may be true, but that doesn't mean you should just give up.
You're still young enough to have hopes like that. I've been alive in this world for decades. I'm painfully aware of what can and cannot be done. I am not the child that I appear to be.
I know you're not a child, so don't give up so easily. If you don't face the problem like an adult, nothing will change.
But I...
Watch out!
Thank you. You saved me.
Oh, that was scary. I'm glad you didn't slip. Oh, I guess you could have teleported.
It happened so fast. If I had fallen, that may have been it. You ended up saving me, even though I said I was here to test my own strength.
Does it matter? I mean, I only helped you then. You climbed all this way by yourself. It's okay to get help when you really need it. I don't think being strong is doing everything by yourself without anyone's help.
I see.
Oh, sorry. That was a little high-handed.
No, you're right. You made me think of my brother.
Former Major General Karen?
He is adored by everyone, but he trusts no one and takes all the burdens on himself. I've always followed in my brother's footsteps, but I don't need to follow his path anymore. I don't want to be like Karen. In fact, I shouldn't be. Yuito, I apologize for getting emotional.
No, I was mouthing off too. Let's call it even.
All right. Now, let's get to the top. If we don't hurry, the sun will set before we get down. We're here.
We made it. You did it!
Yes, it was the result of my daily exercise. And your help.
I was just along for the ride. Like I said, you got here on your own.
Thank you. New Himuka looks so small from here.
From this far away, the people look like ants.
It's strange. Small people, big people, psionics, duds. They are all just specks when seen from far away. Nations and societies are just gatherings of those specks. If that's the case, perhaps something can be done.
It looks like he has an idea. I guess the mountain climbing helped.
All right. Thanks to our climb, I understand what issue I must focus on.
That's great. So you're not worried anymore?
No. First, I must get bigger.
You don't mean taller, do you?
I mean mentally. You can't change the world alone. It requires small efforts by many people. So I want to have the capacity to accept everyone's ideas without losing myself. If I can depend on people, and be depended on, anything is possible.
I see. You look satisfied.
Yes, but this is only the beginning. I still have far to go.
I'm impressed. He seems bigger already. Okay, I have to get to work too.
Oh, how spirited. We should train together then. I will make a program right away.
What? Oh man, can't we just take it easy today?
I always looked up to my brother's strength. But lately I believe that your kind of strength is what I should aspire to.
What? I don't think I'm very strong though.
I don't mean your power or fighting prowess. Perhaps I should say strength of mind. You don't compromise. I think I could change if I had your unbending will. I feel like I'm another step closer to knowing you.
Well, I'm taking a step closer too, so it's like we both did.